Hello everybody, my name is Reverend Kat.
And I'm Reverend Michael.
We are both priests in the Canterbury Diocese and we're also husband and wife.
And today we're in St Mary's Church in Minster and we're going to talk to you today about Advent.
So Advent is the season that we celebrate in the church just before Christmas. Advent is usually the 4 Sundays that lead up to Christmas Day. And so we call these the 4 Sundays of Advent. Now, lots of people think that Advent begins on December the 1st, because that's when lots of our chocolate Advent calendars start. But sometimes the first Sunday of Advent, or Advent Sunday, sometimes comes at the end of November. And for Christians, the Advent season is all about waiting expectantly for the coming of Christ at Christmas. And so Christians do lots of things to help them prepare their hearts and their minds to get ready to celebrate Christmas. So Advent is a really important time for Christians because they are expecting to celebrate the birth of Jesus at Christmas. Now, if you think a little bit about if you were going to throw a birthday party, you would spend lots of time thinking about decorations and a cake and invitations and all of those other things. And so for Christians, this is like getting ready for a really awesome birthday party. And so they want to prepare both physically by getting things ready around their house, but they also want to prepare by making sure that they're doing things which keeps their hearts and their minds focused on what's going to happen at Christmas. So for some Christians, this might mean doing different types of prayers. For some Christians, this might mean doing silence every day. It all depends on the different kind of person, depends on how they might like to prepare for something that's really important. And so that's why Advent is so significant for Christians, because it's about that time of preparation.
So in some churches, quite a lot might happen during Advent. One of them is that churches might redecorate. And when I say redecorate, I don't mean putting up wallpaper, changing the lights. I mean, they might bring in a lot of things to reflect the season of Advent. One of those is an Advent wreath. And another is churches might bring in a Christmas tree as to run up and prepare for Christmas. Another change is that churches will suddenly have a lot of the colour purple, which you can see on some of these candles and as well on my stole. And that's because purple is the colour of Advent. Churches in their services might change as well, because churches might hold a lot of carol services where we sing some very old traditional Christmas carols as well as some modern ones. Churches might also have Advent prayer groups to help Christians prepare for Christmas and throughout the season of Advent. And churches will also have a lot of different readings to help tell the story before Christmas and to prepare Christians for Jesus' birth. So we've now lit our Advent wreath to show you exactly what we're talking about. So we have a wreath because it symbolises so many different things. The circle of the wreath represents God's unending love. Because if you think of a circle, it just keeps going and going. A circle never ends, just like God's love. Each candle as well represents a different thing. For the 4 Sundays of Advent, we've got 4 candles and one in the middle for Christmas Day. Some churches see them as standing for hope, peace, joy, love, with Christmas and Jesus in the middle. But other churches might think of them as standing for different groups of people or individuals. So the first candle might stand for the patriarchs. Those are the people in the Old Testament, like Abraham and Moses and Noah. The second candle might stand for the prophets, like the prophet Isaiah and the prophet Ezekiel or Jeremiah. The third candle stands for John the Baptist, who kind of brings together the prophets from the Old Testament because he is a prophet of the New Testament. He is the last prophet. And then finally, we've got the Blessed Virgin Mary, and that's the mother of Jesus. And finally, we have the fifth candle lit traditionally on Christmas Day to represent Jesus, the light of the world. And that's why we have candles, not just different pieces of coloured ribbon, but because you might have noticed that as we get into Advent, the days are getting darker. Probably by the time you get home from school, it's already dark outside. So in Advent, we light candles to represent Jesus' light coming into the world as we celebrate him being born on Christmas Day. So these candles are lit to remind us, for Christians, that there is a light coming into the world, and that candles are lit on Advent Sunday to look forward to that light, that centre light of Jesus coming into the world.
So, whether you count down the days to Christmas with a chocolate Advent calendar, or whether you use something a little bit more traditional like this Advent candle that we have here, we hope that you have enjoyed being with us today and finding out all about what Christians do during the Advent season. And we hope that you have a really wonderful Advent and Christmas when it comes.